sorted me out. I wasn't paying enough attention. Like, why can't I see properly? Because the microphone's actually in front of my eyeball. I am capable of living life and commentating properly. I'm not completely stupid. Just only partly.
It's fine. Every man needs somebody to take care of them.
I think I need several people to look after me, I swear, honestly. Still, we've got ourselves a pretty good Yuumi draft from the side of Bifrost. Lots of people for Duel to end up on top of. And NYYRIKKI, a little bit more spicy. Patoshka gets his Riven, bit of dive, some good ultimates for Aeroda's pick. All of that kind of jazz.
I feel like the NYYRIKKI draft relies a lot on playmaking as well, specifically because you have the Riven, can be stopped by Poppy, can be stopped by Ahri, can be stopped by Yuumi, can be exhausted by Yuumi, can be stopped by Hecarim. So I was talking a little bit to Alois, who is a Riven connoisseur, right? And to Genax, and they were like, Riven is playable when there's necessarily not too much CC. If you're able to pin her down and stop her, even if she finds a flank, the second you pin her down, she's a squishy technically. She's a fighter, yes, but she's very squishy. The second you pin her down, she's actually dead. But the fact that NYYRIKKI have other ways of distracting Bifrost. You've got the Volibear jumping in, you've got the sellers that can steal pretty much every ultimate under the sun from Bifrost, and you've got the Nautilus trying to make the plays. You can sort of take the attention away from Patoshka's Riven, and then maybe Patoshka can find a flank or a way into the fight. But it relies heavily on playmaking and heavily on what ultimate Aero is going to have, if Abagnale is going to find the correct hook. And then, of course, we have Azita on one of his very famous hypercars, either the Aphelios or the Jinx, this time it's the Aphelios.
Absolutely. And in fairness, when NYYRIKKI have needed people to playmate, Patoshka and Abagnale have been at the top of the list to succeed doing that. Patoshka's Fiora getting early solo kills against Renekton. Early on, it was Kex for Renekton, doing a really good job there. He's done some crazy stuff with it.
I feel like Patoshka sometimes has a coin in his pocket.
He does. He likes to pick champions that enjoy the coin in the pocket.
He likes to take the coin out and like...
He's a gymnast.
Flip it.
He likes to backflip.
Before the game.
Exactly.
And
maybe just not even before the game, just in-game. Like, pull it out of the game, flick it around. Well, I guess I'm pressing flash now. Let's see how it goes. You know, he's training for the Olympics. Going to be an Olympic gymnast at some point. Loves his flips. Anyway, he's got a champion where you're right. He's got room to play make, and he's not the only one that has it. And Dezidere here with a pretty nice little angle to maybe get onto Fury here.
Aero to get level 3 potentially from that
There it is. Abscondum Duck lands. Flash for that stun. Over the wall they come. Who needs Udyr? We can flash bear slap like that.
That's very well played right there from Dezidere. He's playing Volibear. He's a very early game ganking champion. He gets the setup from Aero. Really well done. Wait for that level 3 to hit. So you've got the W and you've got the E onto the Sylas. He manages to hit the Chain Fury, doesn't flash it in time, and then Dezidere gets a pretty easy way in. And even though flashes are down, the sellers will be able to push in that wave underneath the tower. Fury's running the Ignite. He's not necessarily running the teleport.
Oh gosh, that was a bit of damage. I thought that was a tower shot going for Patoshka as well. That's the reason I got a little bit nervous. Fortunately, it was just one of the minions, but Steadfast Presence is down. Patoshka, without any potions in inventory, is going to have to go for a back at this point. Just can't stand in lane any longer, which is a bit of a problem. That wave being there means it's going to force the teleport out as well. The best thing ever, but he does get the longsword, does get the refillable, so should be just about okay. And NYYRIKKI, reminder, are of course out of playoffs, but could still play spoiler here. That's the big deal. They can do Bifrost some serious harm by taking this win off them, because as it stands right now, they win this game, they stay tied with XL. They want to try and win, and they've got a relatively easy schedule. They're playing against Singularity on Wednesday at Bifrost, and that is a hopefully fairly easy win with how Singularity should be.
Yeah, if you're looking at the standings, Singularity is the team to beat.
Absolutely.
You're at the top of the standings right now, and as it stands, Bifrost are one win away from JDXL, who played the game previously, and they need to reach them. Now, I'm looking at the trades right here.
It's a bit rough.
He seems to be taking a beating onto that arena.
Goes over the wall, be straight to Dezidere, who's managed to find another gank here. That's going to be the exhaust, it's going to be the heal, and Odie needs to try and find his way out. The Dusk Wave comes through, not quite enough damage, and it's not going to be enough to get anything done, but it is going to force a lot of summoners. It's going to force a reset from Odie, but Dezidere continuing to be obnoxious. Duel needs to make sure he gets on top, but he gets stuck mid-W. Can't quite kill him with the Stormbringer. It's not Stormbringer, the Sky Splitter, there's the word for that ability. Took me a second, but either way, we'll get alive. But it's going to force a delayed reset. It's going to force him to the tier 2. It's going to force him to lose a lot of the wave. And Shakari here is kind of trying to proxy for him and keep Patoshka away from his own tower. You see what Steadfast Presence is doing? It's making things obnoxious.
Yeah, the thing is that they were really worried about C-Boy. This is why Petoshka was playing further back from his tower, because he was expecting a dive to come through towards the top side. Hecarim plus Poppy is very easy to dive. You've got a bunch of CC among the two. So Petoshka really respected the fact that his jungler showed bot side of the map. There was a huge wave shoved into his tower, so he could potentially get dived. Really good stuff right there from Petoshka. We'll lose on some experience and gold, but he makes sure he stays alive. C-Boy's gank didn't also work on Eivor. He turns back alive. And very crucially, there was a bunch of CS that was missed from the bottom of the map, as well as a lot of summoners burned for Odi and Duel.
Absolutely is. Now, of course, one of the ways you deal with something like Zeri and Yuumi is smashing them in lane. Make sure that they lose lane so hard.
Squishy.
Exactly.
You're pretty much playing against one person who's piloting the Yuumi. So the second you manage to catch Zeri out, and it's a very easy point click, right? You have the Nautilus can flash root, you've got the Volibear can flash Q, you've got so many easy setup CCs, and especially like Namera mentioned on the desk, if you also have the Gravitum onto Azetor and you're able to slow down your opponent, root your opponent, is going to be a much easier way in, exactly like you did down there, right there. You root them, and then you put down the herd. And honestly, in that interaction down the bot lane, where Azetor pops a heal, I felt Azetor being like, go, 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 go. I have Infernum, and he actually did a lot of damage.
Yes, he did. And of course, literally everybody has some CC, most of it point and click, honestly, to deal with Zeri, which is often gets free reign, as you said. And they're going to keep shoving in bot. They're going to leave this Drake alone. I think they might actually be hiding in that bush, as I missed Desidere's icon under the bush.
Yeah, he has sneaked around. He knows that Bifrost are on the bot side of the map. Remember, there's no summoners available for OD, so the flash is just coming up for Desidere. It's just coming up right now.
There's the reset coming through. Dredgeline goes wide. And actually, no, they're stepping back forwards. He's going to cancel the back.
Nice, so much time wasted.
On here. It is a lot of time wasted.
If that doesn't result in a kill, that is a shit.
Here we go. They've got flash up, and it's just going to be a spark surge away.
That is so worth it for Bifrost. That is so worth Bifrost. C-Boy is already back. He has recall. He's gotten his boots up and available. He's about 20 CS ahead onto Desidere as well. And mind you, yes, this is a farm in Hecarim. You need your level 6 to start trying to make plays. Desidere makes them much earlier onto the map due to the kit of the Volibear right now. And they still cannot catch Odi. I think Odi and Duel are one of the most intelligent bot lanes that we have onto the NLC. They sniff these things out. The fact that they couldn't see the Volibear, they couldn't see Desidere onto the map, made them respect the fact of that happening and actually kept them alive.
Duel's Tahm Kench over the last couple of weeks, utterly obscene. Was, on my mind, the MVP of their win over X7. Turned up in every single fight, turned around so many plays. And then Odi, on the other hand, is statistically probably the best AD carry in the league. And I say that now, he is #1 in CS per minute, #1 in GPM, #1 in kill participation, #1 in damage share.
And Azetor should also be extremely close.
He's pretty...
This guy, when he pops up from hyper carries, he really does.
Now,
of course, we have to take into consideration because when your team does well, generally in a game, you get a much easier time to scale and hyper carry when you're playing, you know, the Zeris, the Aphelios, the Jinxes. Whilst Azetor, a lot of times it has come up to him to be able to carry in the later stages of the game because he's a hyper carry and the rest of the map is not necessarily doing that well. Talking about the rest of the map, top side is actually losing a lot of pressure on the Poppy versus Riven matchup. TP was expanded right here from Petoshka, but the Rift Herald is going to go towards the side of Bifrost, and I feel like they're one step ahead on everything. They know exactly where Desidere is. The only one who's been a victim has been Fury so far, which is not very surprising because every time we've seen a victim on the side of Bifrost, it's usually been Fury, who, yes, he's not having the best season, but if he's able to absorb all of this pressure and take the flashes away from Desidere, even if he dies, that means that Odi and Duel get to scale freely into the late game.
Abagnale there went for a bit of a solo warding mission while we were having that discussion and did have to flash out. I don't think he expected C-Boy to be in this bot side jungle that quickly after having taken the Herald, as Petoshka does get a second play up here, but is going to need to find his way out of dodge. Does, of course, get the stun down there and get over the wall before the heroic charge can get him attached to the wall. And will happily take the 2 plates there in trade for the Herald take, the roam there from Shikari, and is not going to get interrupted on the reset.
And usually when we're talking about a team having Herald, you're looking at 2 to 3 to 4 plates being taken by yourself before the Rift Herald gets put down for you to say, okay, it's maybe worth it that we didn't put the investment to take the Herald because we can also take turret platings. 2 have been taken away so far from Patoshka, but if you look on the other side of the map, there is 1 missing for himself as well. So technically, if you put down the Herald, and I think maybe C-Boy is looking to possibly put it towards the bot side of the map, because guess what? Summoners are up and available for Audi and Duel. They have 4 among them that are actually aggressive summoners, combat summoners between them, and they also have level 7 on C-Boy. The ultimate is going to be a playmaker towards the bot side of the map.
Gonna take a lot of damage, and there's going to be nearly a solo kill. Has at least got himself a little bit of shielding from the E there to give himself out of danger. It's a flash down. Shikari nearly getting the solo kill.
That is deadly. I don't know if anyone saw how many minions are underneath Patoshka's tower, because right now Shikari is 1 level ahead. Oh my god, he solved in like 2.5 waves worth of golden experience underneath Patoshka's tower. He's gonna take 3 turret platings to his name, and Patoshka's Riven is gonna fall massively behind after this.
And that was a bit rough. He does lose about half, or does lose the 4 waves, so he loses about 10 CS. They had managed to catch up. I just got a good reset, but you can see what Poppy can do early here before some of the items come through to make Riven dangerous, especially because Steadfast Presence blocks most of Riven's abilities as bot side. Ult popped by Yuumi. Zeri hopping forwards with the lightning crash as well. And it's C-Boy who onslaughts of Shadow to kill off the Nautilus, diving onto the Diver. Azator has already burned Flash and Heal. Fury steps forward with the Spirit Rush and secures a second. Bifrost are on the board.
And honestly, since Shikari is taking care of the top lane threat, why not shut down the 1 gem that NYYRIKKI literally has toward the bot side of the map? We talked about the win conditions for NYYRIKKI. It is Azator popping off on these hyper carries. You manage to shut him down early into the game. He never reaches that point where he can actually one-shot you because you finish the game off much quicker.
C-Boy needs to be careful here. He's got no ultimate. He's got no ghost. He's just going to go down. He's absolutely dying here.
He's got no HP.
He doesn't. He's in the grave. He's turned to glue. And that will be Desiderate who will help pick up this dragon, stop the dragon stacking, and get a kill back. Very important. A little bit too greedy from Bifrost, who didn't expect the quick resets.
Kind of head scratcher because you want to take bot lane tower, but then your Ahri resets, and we see this again. As you can see, Abagnale does not have his fast available. You put down the ultimate from Yuumi, you pin him down in place, and then C-Boy gets a pretty quick kill secure right there. But wait, there's more, because Fury was able to push in his wave in the mid lane and roam towards the bot side of the map. They will get a very easy kill onto Azrael, who also had no summoners. But what you don't see after this is that Audi and Duel focus to take the bot lane tower first, and then Fury wants to back to be able to catch up with his wave in the mid lane that was being pushed by Patoshka, which means that leaves the Hecarim all alone with no ultimate, with no summoners, doing the dragon, and Sid was going to get punished for his overgreediness.
Absolutely, and it swings Bifrost into about a 1.5, just over 1,000 gold lead, rather, just over. Let me finish that sentence correctly. But it might well be extending here a bit more. Is they going to claim some more?
He's not allowed to play the game.
He is not. He's playing.
He's not allowed to play League of Legends.
Absolutely not right now. He's got the Gordon complete, but he's kind of been left to wait for 2 items, I feel, on this Riven. He doesn't get to play early game aggression on this champion with the way the game is going, with the way the picks are going. Instead, maybe NYYRIKKI will continue to play through Desiderate, who's been the point of focus. That'll be Fury popping down the Spirit Rush, but they do get out of danger.
I feel like something's wrong with NYYRIKKI's shot calling here, because Patoshka was coming in. That means that Desiderate, if he wanted to, he could have gone in. That would have been a 4 versus 2. But 2 chains miss, 1 from Aero, and Abagnale's hook misses as well. That probably called off the engage, but Desiderate still wanted to go in, and Patoshka was coming in.
Aero had the stolen Hecarim ult. Yeah.
You would have had same thing happened in the bot lane was when Azator pops his heal and he's like, go, 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 go. Tower dive, but they don't do it. It feels like half members want to commit to the engage, half of them don't, and it has been the name of the game for NYYRIKKI. They have had pretty good chances of engaging, but then the shot calling might be getting a little bit messy in the course as well, and this is why we're seeing sort of a lot of different approaches to the game and how they want to play this early.
And it's been a little interesting as well, because NYYRIKKI, generally speaking, haven't done so much playing through their mid-jungle. We've normally focused on their silence, but actually for this game, it has been the mid-jungle that have been the ones getting things done for NYYRIKKI when they've managed to get things done. But actually, over the last 5 to 10 minutes, it's really been Bifrost that I feel we've has come away with a better lead. Of course, they've got the 2 towers to none. They got the early Drake, even if that second one was a bit overeager. And now, Desiderate might be in a spot of bother. Does have the Stormbringer to maybe get out of danger. Has Flash as well. May have to use it. He's going to keep getting chased. As the Tornado Abigail leaving him for dead.
This is where you type in all chat, was it worth it though?
He got the red buff.
Was the red buff worth it though?
It's just an extended handover.
It's an extended handover, but now you can move all the way to the tops of the map, secure another Rift Herald, maybe put some pressure down on that mid lane tower. You've got Audi on the Zeri, who is very, very, very
That's a lot of daggers.
And what we haven't talked about yet, when we talk about slippery, we think Ahri ultimates, we think Zeri dashes, we think Yuumi, we think Hecarim. Very slippery champions in general. We look over to NYYRIKKI side, I see 4 melee champions.
Yep.
4. It is so hard to pilot 4 melee champions into all these mobility.
Into Poppy, Yuumi?
Yeah, all this mobility. And I was about to say, if you do reach them, Poppy's there to throw you back out.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. They've got lots of ways to potentially pin down single targets. You only got 1 out, though, and that's actually only the support who's done the CC already. I think Shikari should surely be just dead to rights. He's got Flash, but doesn't use it. Knows he's likely dead to rights. That's going to be the Abscondum Doctor. That's not going to land because it went the wrong way. Aero still has Flash, though, could maybe burn it himself. Steadfast Presence surely going to be off cooldown. That's going to be the Steadfast Presence down already. Chain Lash is coming down on the top side. Fury and Seaboy looking to dive onto Patoshka, who's got a Gore Drinker, but it will be Tears that Fury's drinking in turns. Essence Thief, and they won't get the kill either. Teleporting towards the mid lane, and it's just NYYRIKKI falling apart. Can't make the play succeed.
That was disaster. Patoshka dies in the bot lane. All the pressures tier 1 mid lane. Then Aero is trying to make a play because he's the only one who's fed. They expand 2 flashes. They expand Ignite to try and kill the Poppy. They never kill the Poppy. He has to TP back to tier 2 bot lane tower to just catch the wave because it's a lot of experience he's missing out on. I feel like NYYRIKKI is falling apart. Bifrost is absolutely running them over.
They are, and actually, when I say was like, it's only a 1,500 gold lead, it's now more like 4,000, 4,500 actually, and that is a huge shift. They get that inner turret at the top in the top lane, which is worth about 800 gold if I remember my numbers correctly. Those inner towers worth so much gold, and the fact that NYYRIKKI have yet to get a single turret right now is such a big deal.
We talked about the playmaking potential for NYYRIKKI. We talked about you have to keep them busy. So that Patoshka can find a way in. Now this gets very difficult. Patoshka has been further behind, and Aero, even with the assistance of Abagnale, Ultimate, Flash, Ignite from Abagnale coming in, were not able to take down Shikari's Poppy. They expended so much, and then Shikari ended up just walking out. The teleport was expended from Aero as well, which means he can't necessarily push far down a lane, or Bifrost can very well transition that in a bit towards the tops of the map where the Baron is, because having 2 tanks and a Yuumi, you have a lot of sustain to just start hitting down that Baron with Zeri.
Herald number 2 summoned in the bot lane to try and secure another inner turret. Fury's trying to stick around for it best he can. Not sure how doable it's going to be. And actually, he's going to be in a 1v3. They step forward. Spirit is there, but he's going to have to go over the wall. Stormbringer after, but there's a blast cone available. He'll surely be able to get out.
You know what, Initialize? If that was AD Ahri, you wouldn't need to use Spirit Rush because we're taking the tower down.
Yeah, okay. NYYRIKKI, someone out there very angry. It's Patoshka now in a lot of danger. He's got a second blast cone and does exactly what Fury did on the other side of the map. Has got a honey fruit potentially. He's actually managed to stay relatively even in CS, considering he's been left alone where there's a lot of attention from Seaboy and the likes of the last few minutes.
He has to also expend his teleport to get away.
Odie was there. Where did he come from?
From mid lane.
Okay. No, I wasn't paying attention to the minimap there. I was looking elsewhere. Okay.
That is 2 teleports now that have been expended from the side of NYYRIKKI just to get away from trouble, which means that
Wow, what did you do?
Not for me.
Why are you speaking in the third person?
Not for...
She's never going to cast with me again.
From now on, I don't allow anyone to call me Trouble anymore. Everyone call me Trouble Inc.
Trouble Inc, okay.
Not incorporated.
Not incorporated. You're like Monsters Inc. It's like the subsidiary aside.
That's Monsters Incorporated.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm Trouble Incoming.
That's what it's short for.
Wow.
I genuinely thought it was incorporated. I'm not going to lie.
Wow. See, this is why the I is not capitalized.
I just thought maybe you wrote like really aggressive fan fiction, so it's like ink is in writing. You know, like the stuff to write with. She's getting more and more exasperated with me. I've not really gone off the rails with her this hard before.
I'm really sad, man.
Well, now everyone else knows as well.
I'm as sad as NYYRIKKI when he sees Everfrost on Ahri.
Oh, I think he gets even more sad when he sees a Lichbane. Talk to him about that at some point. He's really unhappy with Kara Viva's build, I'm just saying. Okay, still. Let's bring it back away from the slight hysteria.
Okay, so right here, NYYRIKKI are trying to make plays on the wrong side of the map. There is no way you're going to pin down an Ahri with ultimate and flash. It's going to be so difficult.
It's got cosmic drive as well. So many spells.
You don't really have a Aphelios there with the Gravitum to pin her down first so all the CC can land on her. You're going to be chasing her with Volver, you're going to be chasing her with an Nautilus doesn't have flash. Now he has it up and available. So I think at this point, if you are NYYRIKKI, you're playing for Aphelios. You're playing and praying that Azetor is going to carry you through these fights. They can change so much CC that Azure is going to be able to put down the pew-pew-pew.
You could think
maybe
about
win
this.
Fights.
Flash forward, this might be their moment to go. They've got the head criminal, but it's a massive keeper's verdict that throws 2 out. There could still be a turnaround going over the wall. And of course, the Steadfast Press won't be able to stop it. And now, in comes the Dusk Whip. And there's Patoshka on the river. Of course it is. Who gets a double? Who gets an early lane? When you can pull off stuff like this. They find the turnaround. Stolen onslaught in shadows, but starts the play off. Odie and Duel, the only ones left remaining. But I don't think they can stop the Baron. They're going to have to try and find something, but this could be a huge turnaround.
Talk about playmaking. NYYRIKKI found all the right plays in this fight. They take out the entire top side of the map from Bifrost, and only Zeri is around with a cat on her back. But this could be the difference. Zeri is just so good at just peeling backwards and just skipping and jumping around unless Aero can pin her down.
He's going to come over the wall. That's going to be onto the Yuumi. They've not quite got Baron. Teleport's going through. Remember, there is no smites here. Desiree is coming over. He's going to have to flash in potentially. He will do it to make sure he can secure the Baron. Now he's got to come through. Get it. Now they've got to continue chasing. What else can be done? Look at Odie. Look at Shikari. Watch whether they can continue the chase. The lightning crash is not available, so the speed is not there. There is no Yuumi for Zumi. Seaboy turns up too late. A big Baron goes over it. It's a big bounty, and NYYRIKKI are right back in the game.
That is so important. We mentioned how Azetor needs to be the carry for his team. Now getting the Baron buff, stalling all this incoming pressure from Bifrost is going to be huge for him. And again, Aero takes the Hecarim ultimate, very crucially does not use it. You will see that the second Shikari is in, he gets a huge ultimate onto 2 members, but the very crucial thing is that Azetor has the lifesteal gun, which I forgot the name of, which keeps him alive until Patoshka is there. The second Shikari and Fury dust in. Patoshka absolutely dispatches of them. He's had enough of being bullied on that riven. Now he's bullying the opposition.
Severum severs all opposition there. I've got you. And it solidifies a turnaround for NYYRIKKI and other alliterative options. 30 seconds or so until an Infernal Drake spawns. It would be sole point for Bifrost, but what that fight has done is brought pressure. It's brought items for NYYRIKKI who can contest on a more even ground.
You know what it's bought? It's bought an Hourglass for Silas. It's bought a second item for Patoshka's Raven, which is so freaking important here. And nonetheless, it's bought 2.5 items for that Aphelios, which is now standing on even ground versus Odie's Zeri, who's also sitting on 2.5 items available to him. So right now, what you need to do is create some space for Azetor's Aphelios. Now, of course, Aphelios without a flash and without a heal versus all this jump and mobility that Bifrost's champions have here. It's going to be a no-go. Patoshka's being called, but look on the side. Aero is there.
Healing, but that's a big use of the steadfast presence. He can't do enough to heal. Can't use broken wings or anything of the like to find his way out of there. Instead, Azetor could maybe think about getting onto Seaboy here. He's, of course, got the Binding Eclipse. There's a fair amount of slowdown, but nothing more. And actually, takes off the split pushes Baron, and just after we start praising Patoshka, he thought he had Aero around, just not close enough.
I could have seen this play if NYYRIKKI were putting pressure somewhere else on the map. They weren't contesting the Dragon, they weren't pushing mid-wave, they weren't pushing bot-wave. So Bifrost doesn't have to do anything. They just recall and they send 2 members up the top side of the map to catch Patoshka out, and then they also take Dragon. I feel like these are the small plays when we're talking about the top table of the teams where they're like, all they want to do is just scale. They don't mind about too much playmaking, just pick champions that can scale later into the game. If you play better League of Legends, you're bound to win. And we see here that NYYRIKKI is falling a little bit short when it comes to macro.
They are just a touch, just a little bit desync. Aero just a little too far away. The wave's not quite at the right place at the right time. And you can see the playmaking. You can see their ability to turn things around. But it's the additional details that at the top end of the NLC will get you punished. NYYRIKKI could be in trouble. It could be Patoshka in a dangerous position one more time, but he's aware of the danger and pulls away still. Soul point for Bifrost. They've got that win condition, but NYYRIKKI not as out of it as they were earlier on. They can play, but it's going to be a massive fight in 3 minutes.
So what have you got on the map? Exactly. Everything that's coming up is in 3 minutes plus for the Dragon, which is going to be sold for Bifrost, and it's 2+ minutes for Baron. Stay around Azator. Let him farm. The poor guy cannot even step forward in the mid lane to take all that farm. So it just becomes a little bit more difficult for Azator to finish up his items. Everyone is sort of leaving him alone, and they're trying to obviously shadow Aero, who has the shutdown, who has the kills, who is able to kill people really quickly. But again, Fury has his ultimate, he has his flash.
I got a bit nervous.
Unless you have Nautilus there to catch him after the dash, with the ultimate, it's going to be really difficult.
The only reason I say is I have seen recently Sylas into Ahri, where Sylas, this was in the LCK, where Sylas steals the Ahri ult, and basically, you RE, which is ironic, into Ahri. That was, you know, like you go for the stolen Spirit Rush into the Absconded Duct, and you basically cross a whole map onto the enemy, and it's like utterly ridiculous, and you can do it in like one smooth move. What?
Sorry. -1.
Explain.
What? Have you never been on Twitch chat?
I have, but I think I've missed
He's alone again. They left him alone again.
I'm so confused, but Azator is in so much danger. He's of course got Severin for some healing. We'll throw that back get that out, the healing back, but will not actually hit with the Moonlight Vigil. Will thus far miss.
I understand. You're trying to give him solo XP. I understand, but he cannot walk forward, and you're playing for the fight at Baron. You're playing for the fight at Infernal Dragon. You cannot afford for Azator, for the failures to lose his summoners just so he can try and breathe underneath almost his tower to try and clear out a wave. I think they have left Azator way too much alone for somebody who can literally carry their entire game. You're going to have to rely on your hyper carry in the next fights to come, and they're just not shadowing him enough.
They have got to sit around, but there's no Nautilus as yet. We've got about 30 seconds until Baron spawns, and you can just see the line of vision for Bifrost just better. Abagnale actually now here to potentially make a turnaround happen. Seaboy with Yuumi on top makes for a deadly duo, though, so not to turn around quite yet. Fury around as well. So NYYRIKKI just run out of mid lane.
The weird thing here is that NYYRIKKI have chosen toward the bot side of the map, towards where Patoshka is, and potentially the next Dragon, which is going to be coming up in 1 minute. They've taken control of the bot side of the map. Now, the issue is that probably Bifrost want to play towards the Baron. They want to be able to put pressure down on the map, aka get the Baron up minions, push multiple lanes at once. You have the Yuumi, you have the Slipperies, you have Fury onto the Ahri. It's just so easy to just push a lane and then back out. Now, again, I just find it so difficult for Azator to move into this fight, to walk into these choke points, having an Ahri and a Hecarim and a Poppy and a Zeri jumping on him, unless everybody bunches up around him, which means they're going to take the pain as well if they do so. I don't know.
That's going to be a root that does land. He's not quite close enough. Odie's going to have to go over the wall. Lightning crash comes down. Disintegrate over the wall. It's easy. Onslaught of Shadows that turns it around. And Odie is alive. He's going to turn it back around. Look at the speed up. Patoshka's here, but I don't think he can do enough. The Moonlight Vigil will try and get Chakrams up. Azator trying to shred through as many people as he can. Goes golden. Patoshka as well is there, but it's just not enough. The key strike won't do enough. It will kill Shikari, but in the end, it's a 2 for 5. Odie survives. Odie kills them all. And Odie could maybe even look for the soul. They won't go for the base quite yet.
0 deaths, baby. Odie is giving them the Slipperies right now, and we talked about this. You need everyone there. You need Nautilus most of all, because wherever you dash, once the ultimate is on you, you will get CC'd by Nautilus. Once Abagnale cannot get that engage, you just expend so many summoners and so much effort into trying to catch Odie, who, mind you, doesn't just have 2 summoners, he has 4 due to Yuumi on him, the exhaust going down, the book going down as well, the R from Yuumi. It's just impossible to chase a Zeri with just two champions there. I really think that you need the Nautilus, you need Azator to put down the damage, and again, the flash into the flash Q, and then Desiderate really overextends right there to try and catch Audi off guard, and they just both get completely obliterated. We talked about this again. Azator here, he has no summoners. Yes, he could potentially outplay this fight if he had summoners together with Petoshka, but he doesn't. And he's stuck right in the center of 4 members from the sort of Bifrost. It's just so difficult to play this fight. And it comes from these very small mistakes that were made earlier where Azator is just not being looked after. He loses his summoners. He's trying to walk into a fight. He gets completely run over.
4 items now on Odie, and he's like, I thought they got him. I thought with the Everfrost, with the flash stun, they could do it, but the exhaust came through him, and Aero didn't do enough damage, even at 3 items. And now with Soul, they can do so much work. They can start shoving through mid lane. Petoshka might be trying to catch out Fury here on the side, but just so much damage. 4 items. Zeri is just disgusting. Change that burst fire to full auto. 2 dead, and that will be Baron. I think the earlier contests from NYYRIKKI are a thing of the past now.
Yeah, now it's becoming really difficult to play the game, especially when you're being singled out, like Bifrost. They have the ways to pin you down. And we talked about NYYRIKKI's composition, and we said they're going to have to be the playmakers here. They're going to have to play to perfection to be able to catch people off guard, to be able to keep people busy while Azator is putting down the damage, and that has not been the case. Also, you're trying to kill a target that has Yumi on them, and you don't bring any Grievous wounds to the party, you're not going to be killing anyone, buddy.
No. She's at 4 items. She's got a Yumi. She's 6-0-6, by the by. Has just gone and picked up a tier as a last item here, interestingly. Very late in the game to go toward that, but very strong.
Probably
and of course,
the tiers of NYYRIKKI.
Yeah, pretty much. And, you know, like, of course, this Ahri at 3 items with a Void Staff going towards a death cap here as well is no slouch on the damage front either. It's just challenging, especially with all the vision control and an Infernal Soul with 3 Infernal Drakes to its name. Just so hard to survive long enough against this squad.
You need to run. You need to run right about yesterday.
Yeah, there's a Spark Surge over the wall. That will be the Stormbringer to maybe get out. I just don't think it's enough. Desiderate running away, but he's going to get hunted down.
I know what tiers it is. JDXL fans tiers.
I mean, yes. Yes, it is. Because they thought for a moment maybe they wouldn't be tied up here as Abigail going to get run down as well, and it's starting to become desperation. I understand why you make those desperation plays, because you need to. So much damage onto Aero, who thought they had the jump, but it's going to be turned around. Spirit Runge comes through and secures another soul for the Ahri, who's now 5-2 and 5.
Well, that's all she wrote. When you have C-Boy running past inhibitor towers into your base, you understand how difficult that situation is for NYYRIKKI, and of course Bifrost again. They played their game 7-0-6 onto Audi. We mentioned it's going to be the battle of the bottoms, what I call it, versus Azator and Audi comes out on top.
He absolutely does. Such a strong performance. Stayed alive against everything and the kitchen sink thrown by the NYYRIKKI. They've got one final Nexus Tower to maybe make one last stand. Steadfast Presence is down. That means there's an option for Petoshka to get to the backside, but it's just not going to be enough. Tries to do what he can, but all the while, Bifrost clean up. A final double kill for Fury, and they will also move to 13 and 4. It's getting spicy between them. And